Hi guys. So today we will continue to continuation session of last where we stopped. So in the last session we had discussion about how to write the simple test case using the Playwright. Okay. So in that session just I have created one test class. In that test I have created a one test case as well. Okay. So how to create a one test case. So in the test case we have two parameters. One is the test case title and the arrow method. So after that in the arrow method we can implement actual program, what is the logic and what are the statements we need to require, what are the test steps we have to create. So in the as part of the test case. So this is last time we had discussed. So after that, so in the same session I have discussed how to create with the browser context and using the page, right? So page is creating based on browser context. So this is also be one of the way we can create. So there is a multiple useful options are available in the context. Okay, so launching the application using the browser context and page. Okay, so here we can learn how Playwright initiate the browser instance, creates the isolation context and opens pages and to start the automated testing. Okay, so here there are a lot of options are available. So exploring context options in the Playwright. Okay, understanding the different configurations options available with the browser context, from viewport size and permissions to storage state and device emulations. So many more options are available in the context. And also we can discuss today's session so how to run the test with the different options available in the terminal. Okay, so here we discover the various command line options Playwright provides to execute the test efficiently, filter by tags and control parallel execution. So if you want to execute only browsers, right, so a specific browser. So if you want to execute only test case, okay, say a specific test case based on the title, if you want to execute one test case. Okay, if you want to have only a specific tag, suppose a smoke regression you have identified. So if you are the only those test cases based on the tag names you want to execute, right? So we can discuss all those things into today's session. Okay, first we can see how to launch our application and the different sessions we can validate with that using the browser context and page. Okay, the page will be creating based on the browser context. Okay, so first thing we will discuss here. So this is the test case I have created for that. So this is the test case title I am giving this. Okay, so this is the test case. Okay, launch the application using browser context, creating the page. Okay, so I have given a tag name is at the rate smoke. Okay, we will discuss later about this how we can use full and how to execute with based on the tag name. Okay, so we earlier in the session how it is a two arguments, right? Each test case we have two arguments. So one is the title of the test case. Okay, and async. Okay, so earlier we have page fixers. Now we are not using the page fixer. So instead of that, so we are creating a browser instance. Okay, so the test expect. Okay, Chromium and Firefox. So along with the test expect, I am Chromium is and Firefox we are importing from the Playwright slash test packages. Okay, so once we import this Chromium, okay, and Firefox, we can use that in a how to launch only if you want to execute on the test could be like in Chromium if you want to execute only specific browser. Okay, so how we can handle that, we can use that. Okay, as of now just you can see how. Okay, I have created a browser instance So this is the Firefox if I'm using, right? So Chromium dot launch. So this is a launch method. It is available under Chromium. Okay. So this is a one of the option is available. Okay. We can provide by default if you want to execute in a headless is false means, so it means it is in a headed mode, means the browser will launch. Okay. So the context will be creating based on browser instance. So here in the browser we can create the new context. So in the based on the context we can create a new page. So this is a way of creating a new page. Okay. So if earlier we are creating the using page fixer, so how we are creating the page, so we are using the same page object here. So the different methods, like we can interacting with the page objects. So go to is a method, it will be helpful for to launch the application URL. So if you want to expect any element, so we can find the page dot locator, get by row, get by role, get by locator. Okay. So with the different get by text, so any different locators we are interacting and expecting, so setting that page objects. Okay. So in the same way we can the same with any there is no change in that, but the only thing we can, instead of using the page fixture, just we need to call these three statements to creating a new page. Okay. So what is the use of this page means, so each and every, okay, when we are creating the context will be creating um it's in isolated. Okay, the sessions and the cookies will be creating for each page is separately. It would be like where it will be isolated, means it is unique for each and every page. If you are creating multiple instances like different pages, so for each page it will be unique. We can discuss in next test case. I will show you how we can using that scenario. So if you want the same user, means the two users wants to launch the application with different credentials with the same browser object. Okay, with the different context. Okay. So one is the valid credentials, and one same login, same browser can be launched that application with the two different users. Okay. In that case, how we can interact. Okay. So and also be there is a number of there is a lot of options are available with the context. Okay. If you want the browser need to be launched with the specific dimensions like length and width we can give. So based on the given length and height width, so it will be launching your browser. Okay. So not only that, we have a number of options are available, we can discuss in one by one. Okay. So as of now, just you can understand. So this is the page how we need to create the these are the three steps we need to create the new page. Okay. So first we need to create the browser. So how we need to create, so if you want to create specific, like if you want to execute in the Chromium browser, you need to specify Chromium dot launch. If you want to execute only on Firefox, you need to launch Firefox. If you want to execute only WebKit, you need to create WebKit. So the specific browser based you need to create one page object. Okay. So in the browser once created, the context for this browser, you need to create the new context method. So once the browser instance's context is created, so you need to create the page using the new page method. Okay. Context dot new page. Okay. Here once we these steps, after this step, so the same steps what we are doing here. So go to method is your we are using for launching this application. So thereafter we the context. Okay, just we are validating once we are logged into the application, means launch that application. So what type of browser it is launching, we can just verification, just we are using the console.log statement. So browser dot type, it will be printing the statement for, so what it is the browser, like we are using the Chromium, so that it will be print the Chromium browser. Okay. So the context at close, once we are done the any assertions and validations and launching this application, after we can do any operations such as what are the steps we want to do. So the after end of the this statements. So context I want to close, so we can use the close method, and the browser instance if I want to close, so browser dot close. So after that, for these statements, just for how it is executing we want to see. So I have put the two statements for the console.log statement. So browser was closed successfully and context got closed successfully after each statement. Okay, so let me run this test case. Before going to that, I will discuss like, so these are the test cases available in the this file, right? So I want to execute only specific test case. So instead of doing that, so one of the way we can give test dot only. Okay, once we given this test dot only, it will execute only one test case, so not all the test cases. So we can run and see how it is executed. So go to terminal. So what is the command here? Npx playwright test. So once you give the this command npx playwright test, right, so it will execute all the tests. Okay, with respect to all the files. Suppose there is an example that spec.ts file is also be there. Here some test cases are there. Here also be some test cases are there. In this file also we have different test cases are there. Okay, as of now I have commented, but the thing, so what are the test cases are uncommented means it will be executed. So all are executed, but when we kept test only, right, so in this file, so here it will execute only this file from this test case from this file. Okay, the remaining test case from other files. We can see different ways. Okay, as of now I will give only this file name. What is the file name? first.spec.ts. So if I give this file name, so it will execute only the test from this file only. So as of here, 1 2 3 4 test cases are there. Okay, but even there is a 4 test cases, I want only one test cases, so that I can mention test dot only. Okay, this is called actually hooks concept. Okay, okay, test dot only, test dot describe. Okay, so test before all and after all. Okay, before a test and after test we have these are these are all hooks concept. Just I want to use only for this test dot only, for I want to execute only one test case, so test dot only we can use. So once I run it, okay, click on enter, then it started execution. See, one test using one worker. Okay, see, here my test case is one test case is passed. So what are the console.log statements I have kept, right? So content closed successfully and browser closed successfully. This is messages are displayed, and I also printed. So what is the browser type? So my browser type is I chosen Chromium. So if the same test case, if I want to execute with the Firefox, okay, Firefox dot launch means, okay, before we go into that, just see the test results. npx playwright show hyphen report. Okay, this is source report. See, so which browser it is launching? It is Chrome. See, if you go to playwright config.js file, here in the project, so what are the all other options are available? Here we have Firefox, okay, Chromium, and these options are available. Okay, let me uncomment it now. Okay, come to here, run the Chromium. Okay, you see, save, Control C, CLS. Okay, so again, let me run this same test case. npx playwright test first start spec.ts. So I have already mentioned test dot only, so that it will execute only one test case. It is started 3 browsers because I uncommented from the txconfig.json file with the 3 browsers. So let me, so consistent closes successfully. Okay, context close successfully, browser close successfully from the 3 instances. Okay, let me see these results. Yeah. See the results. Okay, so one is launched from the Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. Okay, so the same test cases is run on 3 different browsers. Okay, Control C. Okay, if you want to execute only one specific browser, okay, see, if you observe this, so I have created this space with the browser and context. So after that, based on the configuration playwright.config.json file, what are the configurations we have set it here, so it is executed based on, by default it is taking from these 3 workers and running the same test case. So if I want to specific to one browser, so project equal to Chromium, it will run on only Chromium. See what is happening here. So one test passed. Okay, if you see the results, okay, see, so now it is running only Chromium, because so this is the option where we can use only you want to execute your test cases on specific browser. Okay, so Control C, CLS. Okay. So next we can go to next test case. So here what I did is, okay, launch the application with a custom screen size. Okay, so this is a another option from where the context level. Okay, so here viewport is an option where width and height I have mentioned. So if you want to change the any height, okay, for example, okay, 1080. Okay, this is a width. Okay, Control S. Let me run this test case. So how can we run? So we can mention test dot only. So I can remove the test dot only from here. So that it will execute only one test case. So if we are keeping multiple test dot only methods, so if in that case only a test dot only, what are the test cases if you are mentioned, so all those test cases will be executing. For example, if there is a 5 test cases, you kept test dot only for 2 tests. Okay, in that case if you are running that npx playwright command, with the test with this file name. So it will execute what are the which test cases you already put the kept as a test dot only. So those test cases can be executed. Okay, so let's try. So as of now, just same command npx playwright test. First, let's vec.tis file and with the Chromium browser. We have already headless is false, so that the browser it is launching. So if you set it is a true, so that it will be changing to the headless mode. Okay, so headless true means so no headed mode. Okay, means the browser will not launch. See the browser size how it is looks like something different, right? So it's not actual browser size. So why it is coming with this browser size? Because of so why it is failing? I have kept one assertion here. So what is I kept here? So width is I said 1080 and 400. Okay, I changed 1080 here. So once I launch the browser and the application is URL is launched, so I kept this to 2000 means I have 2 seconds. It is waiting for that browser is launching with that size. Just we want to see how much size of the browser it is launching, right? So that I can mention. So after that, just this is a console.log statement. It is we just see the what is the viewport size. Okay, that's the reason it is showing here. Okay, so this is my expectation, but the size is it's different what I expected. I change this one, right? Let me modify this and run it again. Okay, this is my expectation after launching this browser. So what is the heading of this launching after this application? Okay, we can see that application here, this one. Okay, once, yeah, this is a test login, this is a heading. I want to verify into the application once I launch this application URL. Okay, so that is the reason. So the test login is a locator, so I'm expecting page.get by role. This is in a heading type. Okay, with this is the two parameter it is taking. One is a name. What is the name of the title? So this is a heading. What is the text we are seeing there? So we need to keep here, so that we need to verify. So to be visible is a method. Okay, to verifying asserting the title and heading is displayed in the space or not. Okay, after that I am closing the browser. Okay, let me rerun the test case again. If you want to see full screen, right? See, you can see. Okay, so this test case is passed now. Okay, let me open the report. See what actually happening. So yesterday's session also means the previous session also I have discussed, right? So this is the before hooks. Okay, what happening? So launching the browser. So this test step is executed, creating the context. If you see the context, what happening here? So in the context, what is the browser? Okay, the new context is created, and this is the options we are mentioning with the size. Okay, we set the size. So here it is a creating the new page with the new context. Okay, so once the page is created, what are the steps? It's navigating the space, wait for the specific time. So what are the sessions we are expecting here? So it is expected and verifications are also be passed. So after that, this is the closing browser. So this is an after hooks. Okay, so before hooks and after hooks for each and every test case. So this will be before hooks and after hooks will be triggered. Okay, so we can close multiple browsers test reports, so it can't be any. Okay, control C, there is no confusion on that. Okay, open and come to previous screen. Okay. So minimizing thereafter. Okay, the next test case is, so multi users. Okay, multi users, I want to using the different contexts. So for each context it will be isolated, means it is a separate session and cookie will be created for each context. It will be maintaining. So once it is there, then this is the page for user A, this is the page for B. Okay, second user. Okay, so two users, I have two pages I have created. Okay, same browser context with the, this is the context one, this is the context two. So the context one is used for the page A, this is the user B. Okay, user A and user B page, there is a two pages I have created with the same browser context. Okay, this is the new context, this is new one. The each context will be isolated, means it is individual. There is the separate sessions and cookies will be created for each context. So user A context is the sessions and cookies which are created for user A is different from user B. Okay, so that's the reason. So I have created a new page for, so user A with the user A context, and similarly I have created a page for user B with the context of user B. Okay, so a new page is created, right? So those are isolated, means the cookies and sessions will be each are independent. So here we can create a white promise dot all method. Okay, in the all method what we can do, so this one argument, it is second argument, this is one arrow function. In the arrow function what I did, so what are the test statements? Okay, what are the test statements I want to, so just I want to launch the application URL. So based on the get rule, I am just username and password I'm entering. Thereafter I'm clicking on the login button. If you see the application, so these are the username field, this is the password field, and if this is the submit button. So how to identify these locators? So I use the get by role. So if you see the get by role, so what are the other options we have? So these are the roles actually. If it is an alert, we need to give alert. If it is a dialog, alert dialog. If it is an application, we need to give application. If it is an article, we need to give as an article. If it is a banner, if it is a select box, we can give the combo box. Okay, so if it is a complementary, if it is a context info, content info, if it is a definition, deletion, dialog. Okay, dialog means if it is in any dialog boxes, right? So alerts and dialogues we can use dialog. Okay, group, heading, so all h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, so all tags will be, the role will be like heading. Okay, so here the role. Okay, what is the role here? I am giving the text box because it is a text box. If you see, the text box is available similar to that only. Okay, so here it is a text box, so the role is text box. So what is the text box name? It is showing username. Okay, so it's the similar way, it is a password text box, it is a text box field. So this is the name of the password. So get by role. Okay, this is the text box. What is the submit? So it's a submit, is a button, so it's a button, right? So that's the reason we can give the role as a button. If you see this, the button is available. Okay, so the name, okay, the role is, we need to mention is a first one, first argument. In the array section we need to give the name colon. So what is the name? It is visible, displayed in the either label on button. We can see that what is the text we are seeing, right? The same name we need to provide here, so it will be identify the element using get by role. Okay, so here I'm entering the user ID by fill method. So after that filling the username and password into the username and password fields. After that, I'm click on submit button using the click method. So once it is done, after login to the application, then this is login successfully message. I'm verifying using expect method. Okay, so await.expect. So this is a username, this is the page name, right? Page.locator. So what is the locator? So this is a locator to have this text. Okay, it will be asserting this locator after successfully log into an application. Okay, the same way, this is the um, second test, means the same. Okay, the same second page it is creating for the same similar kind of functionality with a, I already discussed, right? Like in the, it is a multi-user, same test case will be executing with different users. Okay, this is the incorrect user ID and correct password defines entered, and after the click on submit button, then you need to verify the validation message. So username is invalid. Okay, so we can run this test case. You can see so what is exactly output it is going. Okay, let me run as, so one test case is already there, test dot only. Here also I kept test dot only. Let's see what happening, how it is going. Okay, npx playwright test first dot spec dot ts hyphen project dot chromium. So it will execute. See, two test cases are running, two workers, because I kept as test dot only for two test cases, so that it is executed two tests. So this is a test case one, test case two. So when come to the results, right? See, first one, launch application with the custom screen size. It is already we seen earlier. Now see the second test case. Multi-user parallel. See, so what happened here? So here the two test cases are with the sessions are different. Means see, here launching browser is only one time, creating context is two. Okay, for the context, for context, this in this step you can see the context is created for user A, and context is created for user B. Okay, the next step what is happened? So this is the context for this one, right? So creating the page. So this is a page for user A, this is a page for B. So the next step is this creation of the page is completed. Okay, the sessions are different with the same browser, only it is executing. So application is launching, navigating this page. So username and password. So this is the user ID, entering into the one session. Incorrect password also be entered into the separate session. So password is entered into the one session. Okay, the password is entered in the second session, means user B. This is for user A, this is for user B. Okay, two different sessions are executed same page. Okay, see, so each and every step is executed in this. Okay, so after that it's identify. See, this is a, for the username is invalid, this is a login is successfully. If you see, these two sessions are in different, at a time it is executed. Okay, so after that close the browser. Okay, so this is a test case which is executed with the context. So it is a one of the feature, means that different options are available, so it is a one of the option. So how to we can handle at a time two user logins with the same page. Okay, so same different context, different sessions with the same page. If you want multiple users, if you want to test these scenarios, so this is an example for that use case. Okay, fine. So come to this, okay. We have seen already this npx playwright test is an option, so we can run multiple test cases. So this is another option we want to see. We can see npx playwright hyphen test hyphen ui, okay. So see how it is helpful, okay. cls, so here npx playwright test hyphen ui. Once you enter this, so the UI will be available. So how many test cases are there with different files? So all those will be displayed here. Okay. See, here are the different features available in the UI. So if you want to execute all test cases, just directly click on run all button. So it will execute all the test cases from all the files. See, all the test cases are running. Started. Okay. You can see which test case is running, okay, what are not running, because this test case is already commented. Maybe that is the reason it is not running. Okay, if you see, so what is the timestamp for this execution, how much time it is taken, the duration, time, test time out, okay, before and after, okay. So what are the actions we have, okay, and also be what are the locators and what are the source for this test cases also we can see. So this is a launch app with custom screen size, right? So with this test case test folder, see these are the, this is the test cases we have, okay. Verify, this is the first test case from the this file, okay. This is for first dot spec dot ts file. In this file we have, these are the test cases we can see in the source one. So we see the logs, okay. So these test cases we have mentioned like test dot only, so that it is executed. These are not on test dot test, instead of test dot only we are kept as tests. That's the reason these two test cases are not executed, only it is executed, these two executed, okay. Okay, if you want to execute any specific test case, for example I want to execute only this test case, so we can click on run button. For that only one test, it will launch the browser and it will execute, will post. See here we can see each screenshot for this, okay. See what happening. This is the action, okay. This is after. See this is before, okay. Launch the browser, context, okay. Create page, okay. What are the actions we have made, okay. Verify, okay. Expected, close browser, okay. All these things we have seen, okay. Here also, okay. Again we can start. So what the test case it is running, same steps it will be executing, same step by step it will show the screenshot, it will be capturing. So calls, okay, logs, okay. In the console itself we can see, and in network tab also we can see what are the capturing, like any backend calls it will be capturing, it will show the in the console tabs and network tabs, okay. There is a number of options will be available. We can watch all, we can click on watch all, it will be, we can watch it, okay. So if you want specific one test case you can watch it, okay. In similar way we can watch it and watch it, okay. How many test cases you want you can watch it, you can unwatch it, okay. So yeah, these are the different features available in the UI. So here what are the, we cannot close this browser and we can create any test cases here also be. For example, this test case, one more test case if I want to add, okay. This is my new test case, let me add, just I will change the title. This is my new test case, okay. So let me save it. See, so what is happening. See, this is my new test case, it is added into this. If you want to execute, you can execute the test case individually. See, these are the screenshots for this test case. Okay, you can see, okay, frame by frame, frame by frame, the screenshots will be available. Okay, it will capture all the things. Okay, you can see all the things. Okay, so this is the use of u hyphen ui. Okay, you can add, you can run, you can watch, you can run multiple test cases, you can run a single test case, you can identify what are the screenshots and what are the locators, what are the source for this each file. Okay, test case. Okay, and what are the calls, backend calls it is going on, what are the errors, if you see these are the console errors, if you see. Okay, so what are the network calls, I already told you, right? So this is the request backends, the status codes, what are the methods, get method, push method, put method, post method. So what are the methods in backend calls it is going on, we can see all the information here. Okay, so this is the use of this command actually, and page playwright test hyphen ui. Okay, so control C, so automatically it will close, or else directly if you close the browser also it will be close and go to the next command prompt. Okay, means it the terminal will be showing in a can empty. Okay, it is ready for next command. Okay, next one. So we already seen this one headed, already headed, the application is launching in headed mode. For example, this test case, if you are not set, okay, means this false, instead of that you can make it as a true. Okay, for example, this is only test case we want to execute, we can remove this test that only for this test case, so we can make it as only one test case. Now let me run. Okay, let me run the same test case, so using headed mode. Okay, so first let me run the same test case first. So what is happening, then we can see the option as well, first dot spec dot ts. So this is the command when we are giving. So once click on enter button, if you are not giving this, let me rerun again. For example, this test case, okay, so it's normal, idea is not, we are not mentioned anything, right? So let me go to terminal, control C, cls. So playwright test first dot spec dot ts file. Okay, so now let me run this one. Reference to is not defined. Okay. So here I don't want to run multiple workers here. I will keep this command. Okay. Now let me run the same command. npx playwright test first spec.ts. So we want to run only one test case that should be in first one. Okay. See, this is headless mode, so that we are not it is not launching any browser. If you want in headed mode, hyphen give headed mode. Now it should be launching with browser. See, this is launching browser. Okay, so you can run. This is the way using this command headed. Okay, so if you want to execute with respect to WebKit, only WebKit or only Firefixer WebKit, okay, when it will be executed. So for example, I already commented WebKit and Firefox in the configuration level. See, it is already only the Chromium is enabled, but I want to execute Firefox and Chromium. So what will happen? This may be a interview question. Okay, in the configuration I have set Firefox and Chromium WebKit is commented or removed, okay, from the project level. So if I run the same npx playwright test hyphen project equal to WebKit and project equal to Firefox. So this is an error, like projects WebKit Firefox not found. Okay, available projects Chromium. Okay, only project Chromium is available. WebKit and Firefox is not available. Just throwing that error. Okay, so if I uncomment it now, if I run the playwright test hyphen project WebKit and Firefox, now see the WebKit and Firefox only we need to run, not in the Chrome browser. See, two tests are two workers it is running. So I'm not mentioned any headed mode. Okay, so that is the running and backend with the headless mode. Okay, so if you see the test report, see, one is run on WebKit, one is run on Firefox. Okay, so only this running two browsers. Even three browsers are in the configuration. So I want to execute it only two browsers. So that is the reason it is running only two browsers. So if you want to run with the headed mode, okay, with the browser, we need to launch. So hyphen headed. So we can give any options. Okay, give the space. So if we want to execute in headed mode, Firefox, you want to run on very specific test case type files. So you can give multiple options in the this terminal. Okay, now application is running. Okay, see. No, it's done, completed. My two tests are passed. Control C, see the report. So Firefox and upload. So these are the options. Okay, multiple ways of we can see. When npx playwright test, I want to execute only one specific file. So if you want execute in specific folder under specific all the test cases into this folder. For example, this is my testing for tests under. I have created one more folder is my testing. So if I create multiple test files under my testing, so I will give that file path. So automatically trigger running only those test cases. So as of now, this my testing and the remaining all files in the test folder. So if you see the configuration as well, okay, in the configuration what it is pointing to. So here the test directory will be dot test folder. So under the test folder it is taking my test cases. By default it is executing all those under test directory, test folder. Okay, so if I want a specific folder, for example, I already told you, right? So the test cases I kept in my testing. So if I want to execute, I need to give this folder specific name so that it will be executing like this. So test slash to do base is the folder name is given. So in my case, my tests we need to give so that it will be executing all test cases under test files under this folder. Okay. So the next command would be like npx direct test. So landing and login. So if any file, okay, having with this name landing and login. Okay. So to run the landing or login in file names, simply pass the these two keywords. Okay. So for example, if I have my file names, okay, this is a launch application using this one. Okay, run. Okay, not want. I will just run on headed when project equal to chromium hyphen headed. Okay, okay. So this is my title. Okay, let's see. So if you want to give in this case, right? So we need to give hyphen g hyphen g. Okay, give the double quotation or else not to give also it will get perfection. Okay, so so this is the title it is searching for in the test case. Wherever it is matching, it is executed only those test cases. Okay, so if you see the title of the test case, it is having the test case only, it will be executed. It was executed. Okay. Yes. So the same command we need to give using instead of hyphen g, we need to give same command. Instead of hyphen g, we can give grep also. So this is also be executing same test case. So in same way we can give at the rate smoke at this at the rate regression. If you give any specific tags with the title, so you want to execute only those test cases, so you can give simply grep command can execute. For example, you can mention for these test cases smoke this test cases is regression. For example, okay, 1 2 okay, three test cases are there. Only I can make it as a two test cases are smoke, one test case is a regression. Okay, so if I want to execute instead of this one, so using the grep command I will give at the rate regression. How many test cases will execute? Only it should execute only one test case. So we can give, so based on the tag names we can see one test case using one worker. So this is the options available while running our test cases. Okay, so if you see any test cases fail, okay, for example, so we want to really make changes for okay, let it Okay, so 4,000. See, so if I want to execute, this is a regression, right? Okay, regression. Okay, so started execution. It should fail because that expectation condition, like a session I have changed it to 4,000. So here what happened? It is showing the report. So to be 4,000 is failed. So what it is received? 4,400 is received, but that expected was 4,000. Okay, so we can make it the change. Okay, Control S, Control C. So this here the screen. So what is the last test case was failed, right? So we want to execute the failed test cases, last failed test cases. So many test cases if it is failed. For example, as per our scenario, only one test case. If you are running 10 test cases, out of 10, there are 4 test cases are failed. In such scenario, the 4 test cases only you need to execute. So the interviewer will ask like, so what is the command to execute only failed test cases? So again, you will ask like, so is it possible to create execute only failed test cases or all test cases will in second run? So based on that, you need to prepare your answer. Okay. So only if you want failed test cases, you need to give this command npx playwright test hyphen 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 lost fail hyphen. Okay. No test found. Okay. Npx playwright test hyphen hyphen. Why it is fail, right? No test found. Okay, let me run all these test cases once. I will remove this one. Okay, this is test command. For example, so this is a login one. I make it, and I will make the change as well. For example, submit button. Okay, so is not invalid. Okay, for example, I have added not here. Let me run complete. Okay, playwright test. So what is the file name? First dot spec dot ts hyphen hyphen headed and hyphen hyphen project. What is the project? Chromium. So I want to run only on Chromium. Chromium. Okay, Chromium. Okay. The sequence we can change anything like hyphen hyphen project Chromium thereafter hyphen hyphen headed. So or else we can give in reverse also. So it's nothing. Okay, there is no sequence of order it needs to be followed. There is no